There comes a moment in every man's life where he quietly asks himself a question he's too ashamed to say out loud. Is this all I am? He's scrolling late at night, watching others live, wondering why he feels so hollow. He's sitting across from someone he thought he loved, and yet there's silence. No connection, just a void. He's trying to perform, succeed, and impress, but beneath the surface, he's exhausted. And most of all, he feels unseen. But here is a truth most men will never hear. It's not your circumstances that are keeping you stuck. It's your mindset, because your mindset is the lens through which you see the world, and more importantly, through which you see yourself. If you believe you're broken, every success will feel empty. If you believe you're not enough, every relationship will be built on fear. If you believe life owes you something, you will never stand up and take ownership of your path. Brother, this world will not hand you peace. It will not deliver you love. It will not reward you just for showing up. But if you can change your mindset, if you can take full ownership not of what happens to you, but of how you respond, then you will become the kind of man who doesn't just chase meaning. You create it. This is not motivation. This is a reminder you were never powerless. You were just disconnected from your inner truth. Change your mindset and you will finally meet the version of yourself you were born to become. Let us begin with something most people never realize. The voice in your head is not yours. It may sound like you, it may speak in your language, but that voice, the one that says, I'm not good enough, I'll never change, or they'll never love me for who I am, that voice is an echo of parents who didn't understand you, of teachers who shamed you, of a society that taught you to chase validation instead of self-awareness. From the moment you were born, you were observing how men were supposed to act, how strength was defined, how emotions were handled or suppressed. You were told what to value, status, control, image, but no one taught you how to build inner strength. No one showed you how to sit in stillness and question, do I believe this because it's true or because I was taught it? This is where the journey begins, brother, not with chasing goals, but with examining the lens you've been given to see life through. Let's say, for example, you were taught that real men don't show emotions, so you suppress. You bottle, you harden, but then you wonder, why can't I connect in my relationships? Why do I feel numb when I should feel joy? Why do I blow up in anger when I'm hurting? It's not because you're broken. It's because you were trained to wear a mask. And that mindset, it's just programming. It's not you. The mistake most men make is that they identify with their mindset. They say, this is just the way I am. No, it's just the way you were conditioned to be, but the mind is not a fixed object. It's a living system, and just like the body, it can be trained, it can be rewired, it can be renewed. So, how do you begin? You begin by observing the voice inside you. Start noticing every time you say to yourself, I'm not good enough. She wouldn't want someone like me. I always mess things up. Pause, breathe, and instead of reacting, question it. Is this my truth, or is this my trauma? Is this my belief, or is this my fear speaking? That simple question begins to crack the illusion. This is the work of self-mastery, not controlling the world, but deconstructing the false layers you've built up around your truth. Your mindset can become your greatest prison, or it can be forged into your greatest weapon, but only you decide. And here is something powerful you must remember. The moment you realize your thoughts are not facts, you create a space. And in that space, you are free to choose a different path. Imagine a version of you not shaped by shame, but by awareness. A version that doesn't chase worth through women or success, but lives with calm, unshakable clarity. That man is not a fantasy, he is already within you, but you must change the soil in which your mind has been planted. Uproot the lies, challenge the inherited beliefs, replace them with truths that serve the man you want to become. Because who you are is not defined by your past, it's defined by what you choose to carry forward. And if no one ever told you this before, let me be the first. You are not weak for feeling. You are not less because you've struggled. You are not a failure for not having it all figured out. You are simply a man waking up. And once a man becomes aware of his mindset, he becomes dangerous not to others, but to every limitation that's ever held him back. So ask yourself today, who taught me to think like this? And am I still willing to follow their script? Because your life will not change by force. It will change the moment you stop living someone else's story and start writing your own. There is a quiet lie that has infected the minds of many young men. It whispers if you're hurting, something is wrong with you. And so you hide it, you numb it, you pretend it's not there. But let us speak the truth now, clearly, directly. Pain is not weakness. Pain is not failure. Pain is not the enemy. Avoiding it is. A man in pain is not broken. He is simply being shown something. Pain is the body's alarm. It is the soul's signal. It is the mind's opportunity to wake up. But if you run from pain through distraction, addiction, or pretending to be okay, you do not escape it. You just bury it deeper, and what is buried alive, it will grow in the dark. It will become bitter. It will become anger. It will be reflected in your relationships, habits, and self-worth. And worst of all, it will keep you small. Now imagine this instead. You stop, you breathe, and you say to your pain, I see you. Show me what I need to learn. This is the path of transformation. Not by force, not by suppression, but by facing what hurts with open awareness. Most men are afraid of emotional pain because they were never taught how to hold it. They were told to man up, get over it, and stay strong. But strength isn't about hiding suffering. Strength is the courage to sit in silence with your inner wounds and listen to them. Pain says, this is where you've been disconnected. Pain says, this is what still needs healing. Pain says, if you can face me, you will never be ruled by me again. Think about this. When you touch a hot stove, pain pulls your hand back. It protects you, but what if the pain is internal, emotional? Most men leave their hands on that fire for years because they never stop to acknowledge it. They just live burned. They walk into relationships trying to fix the past. They chase goals, hoping to feel whole. They sedate themselves with dopamine, validation, lust, but the pain remains. It's not because you're weak. It's because no one ever showed you the power of turning toward what hurts. When you stop running, you reclaim power. You begin to see that pain has shape, depth, and message. You learn how to hold it without drowning in it. You begin to alchemize it, a breakup, not the end, but a mirror, a teacher revealing your patterns, your insecurities, your unhealed attachments. A failure, not proof of inadequacy, but a test, a chance to refine your path, your discipline, your focus. Loneliness, not a curse, but a call back to yourself, an invitation to build wholeness from within. Let this truth settle into your bones. The men who are most grounded are the ones who have walked through fire and stayed awake. They didn't numb, they didn't blame, they didn't pretend, they listened, they learned, they rose, and so can you. But you must stop asking, how do I get rid of this pain? And start asking, what is this pain here to teach me? Because once you learn the lesson, the pain no longer controls you. It's not about becoming untouchable, it's about becoming unshakable, and that only comes when you stop fearing discomfort and start respecting it as your teacher. Pain, when faced with clarity, becomes wisdom. It teaches you what matters. It teaches you what must change. It teaches you who you truly are beneath the masks, the roles, the noise. So to every man who feels lost, hurt, or broken, your pain is not here to destroy you. It's here to rebuild you with stronger hands, deeper eyes, and a more open heart. Feel it, hold it. Learn from it, then let it go. This is how you rise, not by avoiding pain, but by letting it shape you into someone stronger than who you were before it arrived. You want control over your life, your career, your relationships. You want to walk into a room and feel unshaken. You want people to respect you. You want women to understand you. You want the world to give back what you feel you've been working so hard for. But listen to this truth. The world outside of you will only mirror the world within you. If your mind is chaotic, you will see chaos in your relationships. If your emotions are unchecked, you will keep repeating the same destructive patterns, no matter who comes or goes. Why? Because everything you experience, every conversation, every disappointment, every opportunity passes through you. Your thoughts filter reality. Your beliefs shape your actions. Your inner world is the lens through which you see and respond to everything. And if that lens is dirty, distorted, or broken, then even beauty will look like a threat. Even love will feel unsafe. Even peace will feel unfamiliar. Most men spend their whole lives trying to fix the outside. More money, better women, bigger reputation. But when you build the house on a cracked foundation, it doesn't matter how pretty it looks, it will collapse. The real work begins inside. Let's talk about your mind. Is it still? Is it clear? Or does it race from thought to thought, always looking for the next distraction? Let's talk about your emotions. Do you feel them fully, or do you suppress them until they explode? Let's talk about your habits. Are you living on autopilot, reacting to whatever happens? Or are you choosing your actions based on values, not feelings? Control doesn't mean domination. It doesn't mean suppressing your emotions or forcing others to agree with you. Control means alignment. When your body, your breath, your mind, and your values are all working in the same direction, you become untouchable. Someone can insult you and you don't flinch. A woman can reject you and you remain whole. A plan can fall apart and you stay calm. Why? Because your sense of stability is not tied to outcomes. It is rooted in your center. Now, the question is, how do you begin cultivating that center? Start small. Start here. Start now. Begin with awareness. Can you sit for 10 minutes in silence with your thoughts? No distractions, no scrolling, no music, just you. Most men can't, not because they're weak, but because they've never learned to observe their mind without judgment. When you begin observing instead of reacting, you start breaking the cycle. Next, your breath. Your breath is the remote control of the nervous system. When you breathe shallow, fast from the chest, you signal stress. When you breathe deep, slow through the nose, you tell the body, we are safe, try it. Right now, inhale slowly, hold it, exhale gently, let your shoulders drop, let your jaw unclench. This is what control feels like, not aggressive, but anchored, and lastly, intention. Set one daily intention that aligns with your values. Not something you should do, but something that builds the man you want to become. Do it with presence. Do it without expecting praise. Do it because you said you would. This is how you rebuild your inner architecture. Brick by brick, habit by habit, breath by breath, and over time, something beautiful happens. The world begins to respond differently to you. Not because it changed, but because you did. Women sense it. Opportunities find you. Even challenges begin to feel like training, not punishment. Because now, your sense of power doesn't come from controlling the world. It comes from the realization that you already rule the most important kingdom, your mind. So don't chase control over outcomes. Master the one thing you've had all along, your attention, your reactions, your choices. When you control the inner world, you stop being a leaf in the wind, and you become the mountain the wind moves around. You keep saying you feel lost, like you're wandering through life without a compass. You scroll, you hustle, you distract yourself, but nothing truly satisfies you. You look in the mirror and ask, who am I becoming? But let me offer you something deeper. You are not lost. You are disconnected, disconnected from your body, from your truth, from the voice within that whispers what you need, not what the world tells you to chase. Feeling lost is not a mistake. It is a signal. It means the outer version of your life has grown distant from your inner self. And this is something no amount of money, women, likes, or attention will ever fix, because disconnection isn't solved by addition. It's solved by alignment. When a man is disconnected, he starts chasing shadows. He looks for love without self-respect. He builds success without peace. He wears confidence like a mask until it cracks, and at night when it's quiet, he feels the weight of a truth he can't explain. I don't even know who I am anymore. Brother, you are not broken, but you are being called to return to something real, something simple, something honest. The modern world thrives on your disconnection. It wants you addicted, reactive, and overwhelmed. Because a man who is disconnected is easy to manipulate. He buys more, scrolls more, fears more, and doubts more. But a man who is connected, he becomes dangerous to the systems that feed on confusion, because he knows who he is, and that kind of clarity is rare. So, how do you reconnect? You begin by listening to the signals you've been ignoring. Your body has wisdom. When it's tired, it's not being lazy. It's asking you to slow down. When it's tense, it's not just physical. It's holding emotional weight. Have you been ignoring the pain in your chest when you think about her? Have you noticed how you can't sit still anymore without reaching for your phone? These are not signs of weakness. They are invitations to come home. Come back to your body. Move it. Stretch it. Train it, not for vanity, but for presence. Come back to your breath. Anchor your awareness there. Let it remind you that the only real moment is the one you're in. Come back to your values. Who are you when no one's watching? What matters to you that can't be bought or liked? This reconnection is a quiet revolution. You won't see it on social media. You won't get applause for it, but you'll feel it in the way your eyes soften, in the way your posture aligns, in the way your decisions reflect integrity, not impulse, and slowly the feeling of being lost will dissolve. Because it was never about geography, it was about identity. You're not on the wrong path. You've just been walking without being fully present. Reconnect with nature. Go outside without headphones. Feel the wind, the silence, the space between thoughts. There is something sacred in simplicity. Reconnect with purpose, not with pressure or performance, but with clarity. Why do you wake up? Who benefits when you are at your best? What do you stand for, even when it's inconvenient? Reconnect with self-respect. Hold your boundaries, speak with honesty, and do not abandon yourself just to be accepted by others. Because the deepest form of betrayal, it is when you abandon yourself to be loved by someone else. And the greatest form of power, it's when you return to yourself with patience, grace, and quiet strength. Remember this, the world doesn't need another man who fits in. It needs a man who is fully alive, present. Grounded, connected, you are not lost. You are simply being asked to pause and listen to the truth that's been waiting for you beneath the noise. And when you find it, when you feel that reconnection, you'll walk differently. You'll speak calmly. You'll love with depth. You'll live with intention, because now you're not chasing something out there. You're carrying something in here, and that changes everything. Every man wants more respect, more attention, more love, more success. And yet so many are unwilling to build what they expect to receive. It is a hard truth, but it is also a liberating one. You do not get what you want, you get what you earn. There is no shortcut around this. You can manifest, you can visualize, you can believe in yourself. But if your habits are weak, if your values are inconsistent, if your actions don't match your desires, then what are you building? So many young men feel disappointed by life, not because life is unfair, but because their expectations are higher than their discipline. You want a high value woman, be a high value man, not in your talk, in your walk. Are you emotionally grounded? Can you handle silence? Can you face rejection without turning bitter? These are not surface questions, these are the foundations. And foundations must be laid before the house can be built. Look at your life right now. Ask yourself with radical honesty, have I earned what I'm asking for? Not in one moment, not through one burst of effort, but through consistent, focused, self-respecting action. If not, good. That awareness is your gift. It is the moment your life begins to shift, because now you're not a victim. You're a builder, and builders don't sit around hoping. They create, they craft, they shape reality with their effort. You want peace? Then build inner order. Get your sleep right. Stop poisoning your mind with noise. Sit with yourself and confront the chaos inside before you demand calm from the world. You want respect? Then act in ways that are worthy of it. Keep your word. Show up on time. Stand tall in rooms that try to shrink you. Respect is not given to those who demand it. It is given to those who live it. You want love? Start by loving yourself in action, not in affirmation. Eat well, move daily, speak with honesty, forgive yourself, yes, but also hold yourself accountable. Self-love without accountability is just comfort, and comfort, when abused, leads to decay. You must become the man your future requires now. Not someday, not when you feel ready, not when the stars align, now, because no one is coming to save you. No one is going to hand you a life you haven't built the capacity to hold. If life gave you everything you wanted today, would you be ready to handle it? Or would you drop it? This is why training matters. This is why consistency matters. This is why humility matters. Not to impress anyone, but to prepare yourself for what you say you desire. And this is what most men don't understand. Desire alone is not enough. It is the fire, but without structure, without skill, without sacrifice, that fire burns everything down. So build. Start with your mornings. Start with your thoughts. Start with your standards. Do not chase women. Build a life that attracts the right one. Do not chase status, build character. that commands quiet respect. And when the day feels heavy, when your progress feels slow, remember this. Every brick laid today becomes the foundation you stand on tomorrow. Build the body, build the mind, build the habits, and slowly the life you once envied becomes the life you now embody. This is self-respect, not loud, not flashy, just honest work, done in the dark over time without applause. So stop asking if it's happening fast enough. Start asking if it's being built strong enough. You don't have to be perfect, but you do have to be committed. And if you are, everything changes. Not because life suddenly gets easier, but because you get stronger. More focused, more grounded, more ready. The life you want is not far away. It's just on the other side of who you're willing to become. There is a pain in the silence, the kind that creeps in when the lights go off, when no one is texting, when the room is still, when you realize it's just you. And for many men, especially today, that silence is terrifying. Because in the silence there is no distraction, no validation, no escape, only the echo of your truth. But let me tell you something that most of the world won't. You are not broken for feeling this way. You are not weak for feeling alone. You are simply in the part of your journey that very few are brave enough to walk. You are in the season of solitude, and it is sacred. It is the season when you begin to see yourself, where you start separating who you are from who you've been pretending to be. It is not punishment. It is purification. We live in a world that runs from solitude, a world of endless scrolling, shallow conversation, and quick fixes. But what you must understand is this. Before you can connect deeply with others, you must reconnect deeply with yourself. You must walk alone, not forever, but long enough to understand that your value isn't based on who accepts you. Long enough to realize your worth doesn't rise and fall with someone else's interest. Long enough to become your anchor. Because here's the truth. If you cannot stand alone, you will never stand strong with others. You'll always learn. Always seek, always feel like you're not enough unless someone is by your side. This isn't love, it's dependency. And it leads to relationships built on fear, not freedom. So instead, embrace the alone, use it to rebuild, to listen, to train, to understand what truly matters to you, not because someone told you, but because you discovered it in silence. And in this silence, something amazing happens. You begin to hear your intuition again. The voice beneath all the noise knows what you're here for. You begin to see clearly what you want, what you stand for, what you will and won't tolerate. This clarity is power. And once you have it, something shifts. You no longer chase attention. You attract connection. You no longer fear rejection. You trust direction. You no longer cling to people just to fill the void, because there is no void left to fill. You are full, whole, and from that wholeness, you will begin to draw people who reflect that same energy, people who see you not as someone to fix or complete, but as someone to walk beside. This is the paradox. You must walk alone to finally understand you were never truly alone. There is a presence with you. Call it your higher self, call it your spirit, call it life or nature or God. But it's always been there, waiting for you to quiet down long enough to feel it. And when you feel it, you'll know you were never abandoned. You were being trained. So to the young man listening, who feels unseen, who feels like no one understands the depth of what you carry, who feels like giving up, let me say this with absolute clarity. You are not alone. But you must walk alone. First, to become the kind of man who can walk with purpose, who can love without losing himself, who can lead without controlling, who can speak with power even in silence. This is the path. Not everyone takes it. But the ones who do, they change everything they touch. You will not be the same man you were a year ago. You will not need the same validation, the same distractions, the same masks, because you walked through the fire of solitude and found strength that no one could give you and no one can take away. So keep going, keep walking, trust the quiet path, because the version of you that you're becoming, he's waiting on the other side alone. My brother, you were never meant to stay in the same shape you were given. Not mentally, not emotionally, not spiritually. You were meant to evolve, to shed what no longer serves you, to outgrow what once kept you safe but now keeps you small. If you've made it this far, it means something inside you is already waking up. You've heard the call. Now it's time to answer it. Change your mindset, not just with words, but with action. Change yourself, not to impress others, but to finally meet the man buried beneath years of noise and numbness. And let me remind you of this. You don't need permission to grow. You don't need approval to begin again. You just need a decision. One moment of clarity to walk forward with your back straight and your soul clean. Let this video be that moment. Let this be the beginning. So if this spoke to something inside you, then don't keep it to yourself. Like this video, not for the algorithm, but to mark your commitment to this new path. Comment below. Tell me, what truth did you need to hear most? Your words could be the mirror someone else needs to see themselves. Share this with a brother, someone quiet, someone who's been carrying too much, someone who's forgotten who they are. And most importantly, subscribe, not just to this channel, but to your transformation. Because here we don't just talk. We train, we grow, we return to the root. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with one breath, one moment, one choice. This is yours. Breathe, stand, walk forward, and remember you are not alone anymore. We rise together.